Hey guys, it's Christine, also known as IvyWinter. Thank you for joining me for another Disney video. Real talk, this is the third time I'm recording this video because I'm having some trouble with my audio settings in the new setup. We're in my house now in New Jersey that we moved into last week, and doing audio for this space versus the space that I was in is more difficult. If this doesn't work for some reason, then God, I'm sorry. I hope this sounds okay, because it did not sound okay. The first time I was peaking, the second time I was too low. It was a whole mess, but hopefully we can get through this without an issue. Anyway, as promised, I said I was gonna make a video compiling the do's and don'ts that you guys left as comments on the past 4 videos, because you guys had some really great do's and don'ts that I didn't think of, that I'm kicking myself for on some of these, and so I wanted to be able to share them and also just show off how great you guys are and your Disney knowledge, because these were really helpful. So we're gonna do all 4 parks, but we're gonna do them in the order that I love to do them, from the first park that ever opens to the last park, and so we've got some really good do's and don'ts here. We're gonna kick it off with Magic Kingdom. So first, Daffy Stardust says, don't follow the crowd straight out of the park right after the fireworks are over. Everybody else is leaving, so take advantage by doing a couple more rides with lower wait times. I totally agree with this. Leaving after the fireworks is a nightmare. Anyway, it's a slow shuffle out. You're never gonna get on a bus or a ferry or a monorail fast enough. You're gonna be stuck in a full crowd, so you might as well do some rides. If the park still has some time after fireworks, definitely head for those mountains, run for them. And you can usually get a short wait, 15-20 minutes if you're fast. And even if the park technically closes after fireworks, which sometimes it does, you can still kill some time in the shops, so you can avoid the crazy rush out. Daffy Stardust also says, don't miss the charms of the Main Street USA, the Dapper Dans, the trolley show, the barbershop, and yes, those vehicles you mentioned always bring a smile to my face and can help with a lower impact plan for your day if you have multiple days at the Magic Kingdom. I totally agree. It's a great way to slow down. I'm a big fan of the Dapper Dans. I actually personally know a Dapper Dan. So they're super, super fun, very talented guys. Another thing that I would recommend that a lot of people don't know exists is the flag ceremony. It's at 5 p.m. every day. Right when you first walk into Magic Kingdom, there's that big flagpole. They take down the flag, Dapper Dan sing, they actually have a vet that's visiting come, they fold up the flag and they give it to him. It's really great. It's a really wonderful ceremony that happens every single day, and a lot of people don't know it happens, so definitely slow down with that as well. Coolness06 says, explore the monorail resorts. When I was there a few weeks ago, the Florida heat was brutal and it felt miserable inside the Magic Kingdom. We decided to hop on the monorail and explore the Contemporary, Polynesian, and Grand Floridian while waiting out the hottest part of the day. Great tip. This kind of harkens back to when I said take that midday break, and doing it at the monorail resorts is great. It's quick to get there and quick to get back if you have a reservation or another fast pass. But to your point, you got air conditioning, so you can spend most of your time inside the resort, cool off, and then go back when it's not so hot. Now moving on to Epcot, Ed Vera 6891 says, do keep rechecking my Disney Experience app during the day if you don't have an ADR. An ADR is an advanced dining reservation. I've gotten surprise same-day reservations each time I've been there, each of my last 3 visits, and pretty good ones at that, Japan and France. So this is a great tip. It's kind of like the refreshing fast pass strategy, but you're refreshing for ADRs. Really great in Epcot when there's so many restaurants that are sought after and might have a hard time getting into. You never know what you're gonna get on the day of. Of course, this requires some flexibility. And Daffy Stardust makes an appearance again and says, don't skip Mission Space entirely because of motion sickness worries. They have an updated green version of the ride that is significantly different from the more intense orange version and is worth a look. I actually agree here. I used to be the person who only rode orange. I just love thrilling rides, so I never really saw the point in riding green because it was the same video in the past. But now after the refurb, it's actually a different experience. So I rode it to see what that was like, and I thought it was really neat, a lot more calm than orange, and definitely something you should consider if you have motion sickness issues. It doesn't spin the way that the orange version does, so very likely you'll be a bit better with that version. Richard Doherty says, do the meet and greets in Epcot. The character meets have much shorter waits overall than at some of the other parks. But don't waste your Tier 1 Fast Pass on the character spot. I agree, you can usually get pretty short waits if you go at the right time of day. Even on busier days where the other attractions seem pretty long, I've seen it only be 15-20 minutes, max about 30. You get to meet multiple characters, and yeah, meeting Mickey there is going to be a lot less of a wait than trying to meet Mickey in Magic Kingdom, because that's like the first place that people go. It's right when you walk in. It's kind of quintessential Disney World for people. They want to meet Mickey there, and don't get me wrong, he's really cool there, but if you go to the one in Epcot, you're definitely gonna have a faster experience. Then we're gonna move over to Hollywood Studios, and Sean Murray has 2 do's and a don't. He says, do get the ice cream funnel cake over by Indiana Jones if you have snack credits. I guess if you also have the money and you want some funnel cake. I've never actually had that funnel cake. I've had the ones in Magic Kingdom. I don't know if they're exactly the same, but you know what? I guess I'll have to do a taste test the next time I'm there, right? Do find all of the Hollywood Studios Stitches. They have different costumes depending on where they are at different attractions, and they're in the merchandise areas. So the one that comes top of mind for me is when you walk out of Tower of Terror, you actually see a bellhop Stitch. He's sitting up on a shelf. As soon as you walk out, you're gonna see him as you go into the merchandise store. Not a big fan of Stitch, but this is actually a really cute little detail around Hollywood Studios. I definitely agree. And lastly, don't plan your fast passes with walking back and forth across the park. This is kind of like my tip for Magic Kingdom, but actually I think this is even more so for Hollywood Studios, and thanks for bringing that up, because Hollywood Studios has a lot of actual dead ends where you can't make a loop. There's no like easy way to get out of a land without backtracking fully. So like, don't have Slinky Dog and then Indiana Jones or like Star Tours, because that's gonna be a pain in the butt to get from one to the other. James Ryan says, do eat at the Hollywood Brown Derby. Yes, it is pricey, but the service and food are excellent, and it is vacation. Don't listen to those who suggest the park is small or has little of interest. I agree. Don't miss the golden age of Hollywood themes throughout the park, particularly at night. Yeah, they're gorgeous. Like, go walk down Sunset Boulevard at night. It's beautiful and definitely has the vibe that harkens back to the golden age of Hollywood, and if you like that sort of history in that time period, you're gonna love it. And don't believe that the park is not a favorite among Disney people. It is mine. Well, thank you, James, for saying that, because I think a lot of people forget that, you know, there's a lot of different opinions out there, and even though Hollywood Studios sometimes gets a bad rep, there are definitely people who love it. Now on to Animal Kingdom. Mrs. Magical Monica says, do try the tzatziki fries. Animal Kingdom is my favorite park right now for sure. First of all, if you don't like the way I say tzatziki, I don't know, just tell me in the comments below, it's fine. I only lived in Astoria, Queens for like 3 years, and should probably know how to pronounce Greek things well, but whatever. Second of all, I did not know that there were those kind of fries in Animal Kingdom, so I need to look for them next time. But also, Animal Kingdom has like a lot of great little foods that are not part of quick service or table service. There are like 4 different kinds of mac and cheese when you walk from the hub to Asia. There's just like all these cool little bites to eat, so definitely look for those the next time you're in Animal Kingdom. Matt McIrvin says, don't bother with It's Tough to Be a Bug. It's kind of an unpleasant show and will freak out kids. I mean, I guess a lot of people don't like bugs, right? And when I was a kid, I was kind of scared because I was afraid of spiders. Okay, real talk, I'm still afraid of spiders, but when I first saw that scene, I had to keep my eyes on the ground, like I couldn't handle it. You guys know which one I'm talking about. I can see it being really freaky, not just for kids, but adults alike. There are some adults who just really hate bugs. So, you know, I think it's a cute show. I actually kind of like it, but I totally understand not going to it. And then Matt says, do seek out Dinosaur if you're a thrill ride fan. It's a little out of the way and seems not to get enough love. It's become kind of old by now, but it's one of the most underrated rides in Disney World. Don't, however, take little kids on it unless they are particularly fearless. I know the height limit is low, but it is very much not a kiddie ride. I totally agree. It's in the dark, it's jerky, there's dinosaurs, they're giant, they're loud, it's very loud. When I was younger, the photo was just my face in total fear. Though I like being scared, but if your kid does not like being scared, this is not the ride for them. But I totally agree that it is woefully underrated. I still think it's a fantastic ride, and I guess the plus side of it being underrated is that because it doesn't attract usually too much long of a wait unless it's really high peak season, you're gonna be able to go check it out and not wait too long. Christopher Curry says, do ride Everest at night. It is a completely different ride. Okay, it's not actually a different ride. They don't like change it, but I agree with this so much. I really wish I had thought to do this one in my Animal Kingdom video because it's so true. It just feels very, very different. I mean, you have these parts of the ride that are outdoors, so when you're doing it in the dark at night versus daytime, it's a really different vibe. It kind of sticks to my weird brain thing where I think that riding a ride in the dark is faster, even though obviously it isn't, but like in my brain it somehow feels that way. I think the drop is scarier because you can't really tell that it's coming because you can't see the daylight outside. It is definitely a different experience, and I highly recommend doing it both in the daytime and the nighttime to get your full, complete Everest experience. And lastly, Twixie Shores says, if you're not going in the rain, do try to book a fast pass for the safari before 9:30. Around 9 a.m. is feeding time, and there's little that motivates the animals to roam in the heat more than food. I didn't know that was around the time that they feed them, so that is a good tip. But in general, yes, totally agree. Try not to do your safari midday when it's the hottest because the animals just want to retreat into the shade and you probably won't see them. So if you can't go when it rains, which is when it's cooler and they want to be out and about, you should definitely go first thing in the morning, or if possible, like towards the end of park time. They do have like that perpetual dusk lighting that encourages the animals to go out. So I would say if not 9 a.m., then maybe 8:30 p.m. You definitely get more sightings at the cooler ends of the day. Thank you for those who submitted your do's and don'ts. They're really great, so great that obviously I wanted to make this whole video because you guys have your own experiences at the parks and have your own wealth of knowledge, and I definitely want to share that with everybody. If you like this video, then like it. If you like me, you should subscribe. I make videos every single week except for last week because I took an impromptu week off, but I totally needed it, you guys. Moving into a house is crazy. But thank you for your patience again while I took some time off, and I'm looking forward to getting like right back on track with content for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great rest of the day. Bye. Oh God, the audio in this better have worked out because I can't do this 4 times. I'm trying to keep up the energy, you guys. I'm trying to keep it up.